All right. Here we have two people FaceTiming in right now. Thank you for participating in my speech. I appreciate it. All right, this is my speech, why you need to take this course. And I'll explain what the course is in a second. But the reason you need to take this course, especially if you're a marketing major or minor and would like to have a future career in marketing. But even if you're not a marketing major or minor, there's still plenty of benefits from taking this class that will help you when you enter the job market. This presentation will explain to fellow students why they need to take this course if they want to be the most well-rounded and be able to be competitive once they graduate college. First, I'll explain the need for this class and go into details about why this class needs to be taught, not just at NKU, but across schools in America. And then I'll show an illustration to help better explain the need for this class. Now, this illustration, I'll give you guys a little heads up. It's not the best drawing, but the point of the illustration was to make it as basic as possible. It is not supposed to be very in-depth or anything. So we'll get to that, don't you worry. And then finally, what this course consists of, what the curriculum will consist of, and then how we can take action and make sure NKU listens to us as students and then eventually creates this course. So digital marketing and social media, as you can see behind me, I have the screen there. One of the most important aspects of the future of marketing is the importance of digital and social media and how new digital mediums have started to transform how companies around the world advertise their brands and their products. According to digitalglobe.com, the global digital advertising industry is worth over $192 billion. This includes any internet advertising, as well as advertising on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and other social media platforms. This trend will continue to rise. According to their forecasting trends, this massive amount will continue to rise to just over $300 billion in the next 3 years.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a lot. As a student that is focusing on marketing and wanting to continue a career within marketing, it is important that I learn the most up-to-date trends and informations. Like with any major, we all want to know what's happening in the world and how we can help make the world a better place with our education. However, I've seen a significant lapse between what my professors are teaching me and what I need to know once I enter the job market. Now, I know any other student that's a marketing major or minor can agree because I've actually talked to over 20 students before doing this presentation, and all of them agreed with me that we don't have this course and there's a definite need for it. Plenty of them are just as fed up as I am. I think after this presentation, you'll see why there's a need for this course at NKU and, like I said, at other schools across America. And this class will definitely benefit those students that are not just marketing majors and minors, but have business backgrounds or want to continue in entrepreneurial studies. So let me just throw out this statistic for you. So this is the digital future. I mentioned how much money was actually in digital advertising. So based on these 2017 statistics from Forrest Research, it shows that every minute 650,000 searches were made on Google, over 700 videos were hosted on YouTube, over 700 status updates, and 500,000 comments on Facebook were made alone. Not to mention 65,000 tweets were sent and approximately 180 emails were sent as well. Those are crazy high numbers, and if we want to attack this part of marketing, we need to pay attention to these trends. And these numbers are only expected to get higher, especially with a push for a more digital world. Now let's talk about social media. So by the numbers as well. So there's basically about 2.8 billion global social media users as of 2017. Of that number, 18 to 34-year-olds are the ones that make up most of the population, and most of those 18 to 34-year-olds are following and interacting with their favorite brands or companies on these social media accounts. Like, for example, a lot of people tweet at Wendy's. They have a great Twitter account that definitely is getting it right and interacting with their fans, and they've definitely made some really positive strides with that. So why you need to take this class? According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the marketing manager profession is expected to grow 9% by 2024. And the idea of college, as we all know, we're all college students. The point of college is to get you completely prepared for professional working life. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. But this summer, during my internship, I was definitely sorely mistaken. So this summer, I worked for a company called Lightspeed Systems, and basically I was their marketing intern. So some of my responsibilities included working on Salesforce, Meltwater, Canva, and then also basically controlling their social media accounts, specifically Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. I was in control of all those for the summer. And so some of these things that I learned while I was there this summer are things that employers expect you to know coming right out of college. And they were a little surprised that I had no experience with any of those things. And I'll explain a little bit more what Meltwater is, and most people know what Salesforce is. But the whole Meltwater and Salesforce, that wasn't even including social media, which was something I've always wanted to do, especially when it comes to marketing, because like I've mentioned today, there's a huge, huge area for companies to take advantage of, especially when it comes to social media marketing. And I, as well as some other plenty of CEOs actually, including the one that was the CEO of my company, definitely see a future gold mine in social media and digital marketing especially. In most of my marketing classes at NKU, we barely discuss anything digitally related unless it was brought up by another student. It was hard for teachers to even talk about the subject because most of them had little to no experience with digital marketing because it is so new. I'm going to talk, so one of my professors especially, I just want to talk about her. I won't mention her by name, but she was my marketing professor last year, and this was about my fourth marketing class I've taken. And well, on top, she didn't care at all about our class or marketing really, and basically just read out of the book. Now, when we would ask her questions about social media, digital marketing, she had no answers for us whatsoever and wasn't willing to do research on her own to tell us more about it. She barely prepared us, and that was part of the reason why this summer when I went to my internship, I felt so out of the loop because she didn't prepare us well enough. And that definitely was something that bothered me. And on top of all that, she actually left our class with 3 weeks left to go in the semester, and we basically just taught ourselves and took the final exam. So yeah, not a great professor, and that's how some of the marketing professors are. Hate to say it, but we need to add some new blood and new life into the marketing department. So even if you aren't a marketing major or minor, there's plenty of business professions, like I said, entrepreneurial studies, stuff like that. You can still learn a lot from this class. Plenty of people use social media for whether it's another job or something they do at home, a church group, or whatever it may be. You can definitely learn a lot from this. So like I said, I will be talking about this picture briefly. I'll make it quick. So I feel like I shouldn't be. So NKU students right here, marketing students mostly. Then we're going to take this class that basically will show you the real world versus classroom experience, learn importance of social media, understand the analytical data, and then be more competitive with other graduating students from other schools as well. And then as you see, you take this class, it'll lead to plenty of money and possibly a job at the marketing giant, which is Procter & Gamble here in Cincinnati. So like I said, there are multiple professors at NKU that do a great job, have above average understanding of digital marketing and analytical tools. So like I mentioned before, I think if we have a teacher who basically has a decent understanding of that, that'll definitely be helpful and it'll be easier for them to teach the class. So like I was talking about earlier, Meltwater is a social media analytics tool that a lot of these companies pay extra for, and that basically gives them insight on how their brand is doing to their competitors, looking at data from Twitter, Facebook, Google search, and stuff like that. And continuing on Google, Google Analytics and other SEOs, search engine optimizations, are definitely things that as marketers coming into this digital world, we need to be aware of. And there's actually Google Analytics Academy that I thought within the class we could take the free course and then every student would be certified. That's something you could put on your resume, which would make you stand out compared to other candidates. So like I said, we need to satisfy this need. How are we going to do this? So first of all, I think we need to talk to the department chair of marketing, send her an email and explain the reason this class would be beneficial based on the research that we've done as students. And then also, I probably would take a survey of some sort to show that there's a majority of students that want to have this class included. I actually have a quote here from a kid in one of my classes. He's a junior. His name's Zane. He said, "Yeah, I definitely think we need a digital marketing and social media class. There have been multiple companies I've spoken to while looking at internships, and they've asked me about my knowledge and proficiency in digital marketing as a whole." So like I said, we'll have an NKU professor teach it. That would be ideal. But if not, we'll bring in a younger outside professor, maybe someone who is just entering the job market, maybe has a much broader experience with social media and digital marketing. So right here, these are just a couple examples of things that we would discuss in the class. That's on the left, that is Facebook analytics. And then on the right is Twitter analytics. And these are both really important tools to understand social media and especially these platforms because businesses and entrepreneurs alike, they have a real easy opportunity to boost their posts and not have to spend a lot of money. Well, with social media, there's not a lot of money that goes into it. It's mostly manpower, and the ROI can be excellent for a lot of these companies and these brands. So what will happen if we do this? If we don't do this, and then I'll compare it to if we do this. So if we don't, it'll be less money for our students because they'll be considered lesser candidates to other universities that offer this class. Obviously, it'll be less opportunities, to mention some of the disadvantages. And if we all want NKU students to do really well in the working world, and that's our goal here with this class. So if we do create it, like I said, on the opposite side, that our graduates will definitely be more competitive with other universities. And then in turn, since our graduates are going to be so knowledgeable and have all this experience, real world and classroom experience, they will get higher salaries coming out of college, which is all stuff that we want. We all want to make a bunch of money. So to make sure how this happens, we need to email the department chair of the marketing department chair, Aaron Levin. Again, explain to him after talking to students and all the research we've compiled about why we should get this class, and then maybe even talk to some professors at nearby universities such as UC or Xavier even to get opinions on classes that they teach as well. And then I think if all of us marketing minors and majors talk to our professors, it might spark an interest with one of them, and they may be willing to teach that class without much of a push from department heads. And then lastly, I guess this would be worst case, we would have to email the dean of the business school, Sue Ott, and again, just email her and express our desire to have this class as a part of the marketing curriculum at NKU. And then worst case, look online at other universities to take online classes, because I think this course could be extremely beneficial for marketing majors. So what do you desire, guys? Would you be willing to take this class and then make all that money once you graduate because of all this extra experience? Live in a nice house like that, with a sweet car like that? It sounds pretty nice, doesn't it? Sounds pretty nice. Anyways, I appreciate you guys listening to my speech. Thank you. And that's it. Woo! Oh, you're not going to clap for me?